Happy NFL wildcard weekend as we prepare not just for playoff football, but for the Dallas Cowboys to take the temperature of Lincoln Riley. Gotta talk about it after the bumper.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You gotta help me with that corner shit.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have a good time. And today, we need to talk about Dallas Cowboys taking the temperature. Why is temperature such a tough word to say? This is off to a roaring start. This is take 3 of this particular video, and I don't know what it is, but maybe I just don't want to get it out. The Dallas Cowboys want to take the temperature of Lincoln Riley to see if he's interested in being the Dallas Cowboys head coach. This, according to NFL Network's Ian Rappaport, who does an outstanding job of basically doing what Adam Schefter does, being an NFL insider for NFL Network. Now, he said a couple of things. One was they have already interviewed Marvin Lewis, who did some work for Herm Edwards at Arizona State and who's been at Cincinnati, or was at Cincinnati forever before he got fired and really just resigned, really just said, enough, I can't get it done here. And Mike McCarthy, who got fired because Aaron Rodgers no longer wanted to cook with him. He got a new chef named Matt LaFleur, and all they're doing is, skipping Wild Card Weekend because they got straight to the divisional round because they earned a bye with a new offense and riding Aaron Jones and Devontae Adams and a bunch of sock puppets on the at wideout with an outstanding defense run by Mac Pettin. Za'Darius Smith has been outstanding, 275 pounds, 6'4", came out of Kentucky. Underrated his entire life, and all he's done is continue to be underrated. I thought he was an all-pro player this year, but he was not, according to AP voters. Now, back to Lincoln Riley. They are acknowledging that they basically have not spoken with Lincoln Riley at all about the Dallas Cowboys head coaching job, which is kind of cool because it used to be that was the way you did things. You waited until you were definitively going to fire a guy, and at the end of your season to start actually looking around at other guys that you might want to hire for his job. And Jerry Jones is basically operating with a sense of integrity that I would really love to see everywhere in all walks of life. It just doesn't exist. And Jerry Jones has built his reputation in large part on how he treats his people and how he takes care of them. There are a lot of things that we could say we don't like about Jerry Jones, one of which is who he decides to ride or die with at head coach. But what is true about Jerry Jones is that he pays his players their worth and then some. He makes sure that his facilities are second to none. He wanted to build a monument to football and himself. He's got modern art in the bathrooms at AT&T Stadium with an enormous video board. Every time I get an opportunity to go down there, it's a lot of fun. All this to say, yes, he's going to do his due diligence, and he's interviewed a couple of guys that have succeeded in the league in getting to playoff games, and in Mike McCarthy, Super Bowl much. But I also really don't necessarily think that Mike McCarthy's a fit for the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott. I could be wrong there. Marvin Lewis, I definitely don't think is a fit, and I'm not prepared to boycott either one of those choices. But the thing about Lincoln Riley and what Ian Rappaport said about Lincoln Riley is people close to him have said what I've been telling you, which is he ain't interested. But he also said that doesn't mean no. So let's see if Jerry Jones gets an opportunity to get an in-home visit with, kind of like I tell the kiddos, you take any in-home visit from a coach that you want to talk to. So I said that Jace McClellan should take an in-home from Nick Saban because when are you ever going to get to pick Nick Saban's brain about much of anything? And that's, for me, the best head coach of all time, especially in the college football ranks. Even Bill Belichick looks up to him. There's a lot you can learn from him. Didn't know that Jace McClellan was going to flip his commitment to Alabama from the in-home. So Lincoln Riley getting an in-home from Jerry Jones. Maybe Jerry Jones is the recruiter that Nick Saban is. Maybe Lincoln Riley wants to hear what Jerry Jones has to say. And I would tell anybody like Matt Rule taking, interviews with the Giants and the Carolina Panthers, we think, and the Dallas Cowboys, we think, you'd be stupid not to hear what they have to say. Always hear what someone has to say. Doesn't mean that you got to take a job. Doesn't even mean that they offer you the job. And that's the part about the Dallas Cowboys head coaching search that I really wanted to hit on. Nobody has been offered a job, and Jason Garrett is still, quite technically, the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys until January 14th when his contract expires, and it's beginning to sound like they want to keep Jason Garrett on in some capacity. I don't know if that capacity is on the coaching staff or in the front office, but they've had consecutive meetings and then they decided not to have another meeting because he ain't going to be the head coach, we think, but maybe he's your fail-safe. We'll see. It's clear that Jason Garrett does not necessarily have a market that wants his services, and that's been the most damning thing about his job at Dallas, which is to say somebody else probably could have done more with what you had. 4 8-8 seasons and 10, second longest tenured coach of the Dallas Cowboys ever. Made the playoffs, haven't done anything else. You won Super Bowls as a guy holding a clipboard, but haven't got it done with a Pro Bowl level roster. And that's the thinking with Lincoln Riley. But also, allow me here to say that Lincoln Riley, and for that matter, Matt Rule, have a crappy record in big games. Now, you can go back to the days at Temple when Matt Rule beat Penn State 27-10 and then got into the American and whatnot and ran that into a 10-win season. And you could say that's about it, right? Because when he had Oklahoma at home to continue an undefeated streak, not only get beat, he gave up a 25-point lead in McLean Stadium and got beat. And then at Dallas for the Big 12 championship game, he got beat. And then at the Sugar Bowl, he got definitively beat. Lincoln Riley, yes, 5 consecutive Big 12 championships, 36 wins, 6 losses. It's been an outstanding start to a career. However, 3 straight appearances in the college football playoff, 2 embarrassing defeats, one in which you gave up a 17-point lead, squib kicked it in the third quarter. It's just not a good look, all right? And if, as a Dallas Cowboys fan, the thing that I want from my head coach is a guy who can win the games that matter. Because if you get into the tournament, run the table. That's all you got to do. Get in the tournament, run the table. Mike McCarthy has done that. Marvin Lewis has not. I would set my sights on somebody who has been to the promised land and won it. Maybe even Josh McDaniel. We'll see. But I'm not really enthusiastic about Lincoln Riley being the head coach at Dallas because, as I've said, also, it's a different sport. College football and the NFL are 2 different sports. And the thing that Lincoln Riley's been able to do at Oklahoma and succeed in more often than not, as I'll talk about this at length, but succeed in more often than not is evaluate talent, bring talent in, and achieve success with that talent. Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones control your personnel. They tell you who you're going to have to play with, and that's about the long and the short of it. And you need somebody that's going to go head-to-head with Jerry Jones, but also you're going to know that Jerry Jones is going to win anyway because it's his team. And the same steel resolve that had him hold on to Jason Garrett for 10 years is the same steel resolve that'll say, no, you're going to ride with Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, and Amari Cooper and this defense, and you're going to like it. So we'll see how this goes. That's it for me. Doses.